Hello. Hello, how are things? Welcome to the stream. I am Chilium. Also Pilium. Oopsie doopsie. Have this on. Not that one. That one. There we go. How is everybody doing? I hope y'all are ready to get mad and have a discussion about why IGN and Nintendo Life are incorrect with their choices for top 100 Nintendo games of all time. Chilliam Wallace, how you doing? I am doing good. Thank you for referring to me by my full heroic name. Yes, I am the Chilliam Wallace that had the gigantic Zweihander and fought for the Scottish against the British. That is me. I'm doing much better now. Hi. Welcome, Space.
Space is so cool! I love space so much!
And, of course...
Oh, shit! Alright!
And this one is for Streambot, because Streambot is, of course, our best number 2 ever.
Hello, door.
I think he had a claymore, not to be pedantic. It was a big-ass sword. Actually, I believe you're right. I think I actually saw William Wallace claymore whenever I was in Scotland the last time. Well, the second to last time. Last time I was there, I was with Ratter. Tips Fedora. Regardless, it's fucking massive. Like, the claymore is so big, I think it's like as tall as I am. To think that someone was able to wield that is ridiculous. Thank you, Daddy. Step on my chest. Chill pill. Oh. Oh my. Oh my. Alright. Let's get into it. So, fun fact, swords are way lighter than people imagine. Really? I can't imagine that even a sword that big. Can you look up and see how much it weighed? Alright, let's get into this. Gotta change that. Display capture. Whoop. Yet again. There we go. Claymore weighs about 5 pounds. Nuh-uh. Okay. Go here. Turn that off. Turn that on. Average longsword weighs about 1 to 2 pounds. That's crazy. Okay. I'm not getting any audio from the game. I'm gonna go ahead, close out, and restart it. Actually, I'm not getting any audio from Steam Deck. May have to do this. Right. Update. Fine. Maybe restarting it will get some sound. Yeah, as it turns out, swinging big, heavy objects around gets tiring fast, and it's not very useful on the battlefield. It's very true. It's very true. Well, while we are installing this up... Oh, never mind. What could it be? What could it be? Hold on just 1 second. What would a... Oh, is that it? Yeah, there we go. There we go. What would a Black Sheep Vidya stream be without some scuff? Not a very good one, in my opinion. Home deck, documents. Y'all don't see this. A baseball bat weighs about 2 pounds, so imagine like that. Funny how humans can basically the same general consensus on how heavy something can be before being impractical. Could you imagine baseball if the bats were actually like 50 pounds? It'd be ridiculous. Woo! Yep, it's working now. Okay. Let's get this party started. The ball wouldn't go very far. What if the ball was 60 pounds? Alright. So. Let's get this party started. Ninja Rufio. I still don't know why it's showing these names like this, but oh my god, a Toko sighting. There is no way. There is no way you just pulled your own quote. What? How did you do that? What? That's crazy. Oh my god. Also, welcome, Toko. Yeah. The odds. Like, for real, though. And also, I gotta see why it's displaying names like this. This is so stupid. I thought it was just like a one-time thing. The magics of Streamlabs. Yeah, I wonder if it's a Streamlab thing or if it's YouTube. It's gotta be... I don't know. Maybe this is some, bullshit of, like... Nobody's identity is, hidden anymore. Anyways. How have you been, Rufio? Rufio, Jesus. Toko. Rufio? Oh. Let's go ahead and get this list started. So, top of the list. This is IGN's top 100 Nintendo games, along with Nintendo Life. Give you a really quick preamble. I don't know, as many times as Faye has pulled her own quotes, despite having like 4, she barely ever comes to the streams. But the thing is, how would they know? For real. Here at IGN, we've teamed up with the friends at Nintendo Life to try and answer the question of what is the top 100 Nintendo games. As for what qualifies to make our list, well, the vast majority you'll see here are either developed and or published by Nintendo itself, but there's also room for some others, those games that are synonymous with Nintendo consoles, or at least a period of time exclusively on one of its many home devices and handhelds. So this is saying that if it was on a Nintendo console, at least for a little bit, that's it. Pretty sure Toko only has one quote, though. Faye has several. It's true. Easy. Glover. So, top of the list. I don't know how well-versed everybody is with Nintendo stuff. So, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to read the list, and y'all just chime in whenever you have something to say. So, the first one that we have, number 100, is Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem. That was a GameCube jam. That was a very, very good survival, or not a was it survival horror? It was a horror game that specifically delved into the... what's it called? the occult and things like Cthulhu. PC-specific games versus cross-play universalization. Better for consumers or hurtful to platform specialization? We're kind of seeing that in real time, right? Like, we're seeing a bunch of PlayStation stuff pop up on Steam. Microsoft has now given up on their exclusive, and so now we're seeing Halo on PS5. We're kind of seeing that in real time. It's going to be very interesting. Ain't no way we have 11 viewers. What? No. It's going to be interesting to see where things end up in the next 5 years as far as gaming goes. Chillpill, can you translate that question? Which question? Oh. I think basically what Toko is saying is game exclusives to consoles. Thoughts on console PC specific games versus crossplay. So yeah, things like, well, Horizon Zero Dawn used to be a PlayStation exclusive, but now you can play it on Steam. Is that good for sales, or is that bad for sales for Sony? Stuff like that. So yeah, I think that Eternal Darkness definitely needs to be on the list, and it does need to be lower. So I think 100 is just fine. It's good for game sales, but bad for console sales. Yeah, exactly. But if we're moving away from consoles, a traditional console, then the console sales won't even matter. From the IGN topic of what games resonate Nintendo are Nintendo-specific exclusive games, whereas Halo for Xbox or Ratchet & Clank for PS. Okay, here's another one that I'm kind of whatever on. Number 99 is GTA Chinatown Wars. This was a DS game. I have no opinions on this. I'm not a big GTA fan, and I'm especially not a GTA on Nintendo consoles fan. I had Chinatown Wars, it was amazing. That's what I've heard people say, is the game is really, really, really good. Probably the best handheld GTA, but I'm just not a fan. Then again, I haven't played it, so it's not fair for me to actually say one way or the other. I remember it was such a big release, actually, that there was an episode of South Park where I don't remember the actual plot, but Cartman wanted GTA Chinatown Wars. Like, that was the game that he was wanting. If you watch South Park, Matt Stone and Trey Parker are huge gamers, so usually games that they're really excited for, they'll talk about. Like, there was an episode where they just the kids were bribed with divulging information by getting a copy of the Star Wars Jedi Survivor. There's a surprising amount of depth in writing. It was great. Really, for a DS game, that's awesome. But yeah, I remember it was such a big release that even South Park made mention. Can I push this? Do I get a pushy power at some point? Can I hit you? I can hit you. I whip my whip back and forth. I whip my whip back and forth. Oh, it's one of these. Okay. I'd put it in my top 5 DS games easily. Really? Well, that's saying something. Alright, number 98, Star Fox. Star Fox, this is the original, not 64. Quite honestly, I wouldn't even put this in a top 5 Star Fox games. I don't like Star Fox except for 64, and I have a soft spot in my heart for Star Fox Adventure, even though it's far and away from a Star Fox game. I think the reason why I like it is because I like Zelda, and that's exactly what Star Fox Adventure was. But I'm not a huge fan of the Star Fox games. I'm sorry, the on-rails, whatever. I think the N64 did a much better space fighting game with Rogue Squadron. Y'all played Shakedown Hawaii? No, what's that? What's that? Star Fox Adventure was a fun Zelda game. Yes. Abysmal Star Fox game. Super fun Zelda game. I agree. I mean, that's what it was initially supposed to be, right? Like, it was supposed to be Dinosaur Planet. Then Miyamoto was traipsing over to Rareware Studios one day and was like, hey, how about we put one of our things in your thing? So they basically made the Reese's of video games, and it's like, hey, you got your Star Fox in my Dinosaur Adventure. You got my Dinosaur Adventure in your Star Fox. What if? Yeah. Kind of GTA-like. Looks like Paperboy from SNES. Came out 2019. What? That sounds cool. It's initially supposed to be about Crystal, but they thought it wouldn't sell, which is insane. Right? Considering that, like, as fucked up as it is to say, like, people were so into Crystal, like, it was kind of like Lola Bunny from Space Jam, you know? Anyways. Number 96. Or 97. I think that this is very low on the list. They have Super Castlevania 4. Crystal's arguably a more popular Star Fox character than Fox, right? Isn't that crazy? Super Castlevania at 97. I would personally put Super Castlevania in top. I think I would do like 75 or north. Like, I like Super Castlevania a lot, but I'm extremely biased, I guess. But I mean, this is their opinion on the best Nintendo games, so clearly they're biased too. What the fuck? How do I whip this thing? Wah. I'm not a skilled gamer. Am not a skilled gamer. Okay. Oh, come on. Any thoughts on Super Castlevania being 97, that low on the list? Alright. Number 96. This is a game that I have heard of before, but never played, and I don't see myself ever playing, so I have zero opinion on it. 999. 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. This is another Nintendo DS jam, and I don't know. It kind of sounds like it would be like a, at first blush, I would say it's like a Danganronpa something or other. What does this say? Nintendo DS became a haven for visual novels. Yep. Interactive storybook device that could ease you in a deep night's sleep. 999 was far more likely to keep you up all night. Chunsoft's, yep, that would be Danganronpa. First entry in the Zero Escape series, 99 placed you alongside 8 other potential victims inside a sinking cruise liner that tested your puzzle and deduction skills as you unraveled the web woven by a mysterious mastermind. I'm already confused about what the curve is, because you can't possibly argue on the merits that Star Fox is a better game than Chinatown Wars. It's got to be a grade on that curve. Yeah, I don't know, but I think there are more things in this list that are going to be even more confusing. For example, where would you put a Fire Emblem game on a Nintendo, a top Nintendo game list? Oh my god. I would put a Fire Emblem game probably towards the middle. I would say it was more important than like an Advanced Wars. But at 95, we have Fire Emblem Three Houses. What is Ratter's opinion on this? I know for a fact this is... She would never play another Fire Emblem because this game had the gamification side of things, right? The tactical battle thing. But more importantly, she got to live out her days as a professor at Hogwarts, essentially, getting to know her students and living life doing that with a social sim. This is, I believe, the best-selling Fire Emblem game, and the fact that it is 95 is criminal. Super Fire Emblem for the Super Nintendo. Oh my god. I feel like there were Fire Emblems on like the Game Boy Advance that might be more considered more important purely because they brought Fire Emblem over to the West. However, it really feels like this list keeps going between what is important to gaming and what is something that I just like a lot. So the fact that Fire Emblem Three Houses is not even like cracking the top 80, I'm glad that it's on the list, but it's incredibly misplaced. Incredibly misplaced. I don't know. There better be like a really fucking sweet item after this. Oh my god. If this were made by a girl, Three Houses would be higher up. I don't want to say that you're right for the reasoning, but I think you are right for the reasoning. It's Persona meets Fire Emblem. Like it's a social. Actually, Persona meets Fire Emblem would be Sharp Effie. You know I'm right. I know. There we go. Oh my god, I did it. What's in here? Okay. Next up, 94, Professor Layton and the Unwound Future. Never played a Professor Layton game. I kind of think of these games alongside Phoenix Wright as like came out on the DS era is where like the best ones came out. I don't know. By the way, 4 Zelda amiibos are on sale for $10 each at Best Buy. Can you put that in the Discord for me, dude? I think they might be ones that I've been waiting on because they priced them extremely high whenever they first came out, and $10 sounds like a good deal. Yeah, it's like some mixture between important and, oh, I played that and I thought it was good. Yep. Alright, so moving on from Professor Layton, Number 93. I'm gonna need you to weigh in on this one, Space. This is up your alley. 93. WWF No Mercy. I have zero opinion on wrestling games. I know that there are some that are better than others, some that are super broken, and some that the community thinks are fucking amazing. Criminally low. Is this one? This is one of the ones on the N64. I know you spoke very highly of these. Like, these were a huge part of your... Oh, so I was supposed to do that. These were like a huge part of your childhood, just like Glover. No Mercy was the greatest wrestling game ever made. I probably played that game more than any other Nintendo games besides Pokemon Yellow. Yeah, I figured you would have something to say about this one. I don't, and I'm glad that you're here for this because, uh-oh. Don't mind the smoke alarm. We're not dying. And it's not just me. In the wrestling game community, No Mercy is widely regarded as one of the greatest games in the genre. I'm surprised they haven't, like, remade it at this point. I know that sports games are kind of weird. People are still begging for a game that lives up to it. I know that, remakes are a dime a dozen, but, it seems like sports games are super hard to get people to remake purely because of, like, licensing and people's likenesses and all that. But there's got to be, like, a fan mod out there or whatever. Yeah, you can't remake it because of licensing, which is really upsetting. That's why it was so difficult for them to remake Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. And why, in my opinion, the soundtrack for Pro Skater 3 was not nearly, or the remake of 3 and 4 was not nearly as good as the original. Like, the soundtrack for Tony Hawk 3 and 4 were what really gave it its zhuzh. It's what really put it over the top. Like, one of my favorite games ever is SSX 3, Extreme Sports Games. And I kind of don't want them to remake that because part of what made that one great was the soundtrack, and I don't think they're going to be able to get it back for a remake. Okay, number 92, Kirby Planet Robobot. Hold on one second, I gotta let the little girl in. Yeah, the soundtrack for SSX3 was fucking amazing. Everyone always talks about Tricky, but yeah, MXPX Play It Loud. Like, that game introduced me to so many different artists. In fact, there was a CD that they released that had, like, all of the songs from SSX3. It's fucking amazing. Kirby Planet Robobot. When people talk about really good Kirby games, just boarding down the mountain was a blast, right? Going top to bottom from the highest peak to the lowest valley. It was really great. And then the one that they made for the PS3 and the Xbox 360 SSX just sucked. Well, it didn't suck, it just wasn't the same game. I'm gonna be real, there's no Kirby games that deserve to be on this list. Not even Superstar? Superstar is one of my favorites. I was gonna say, when people talk about really good Kirby games, they talk about this one, and they talk about Superstar. I'm sorry, they just aren't good. They're fine, but not great. I think that they were a good way for Sakurai to get his feet wet in game programming and whatever, but I have never been really challenged by a Kirby game, and also I don't care enough about Kirby as a character to really, like, have an opinion, a strong opinion on these games. My opinion, if there was one Kirby game on this list that deserved to be here, it should have been Superstar for the Super Nintendo. Actually, no, the one that they did for the remake they did for the DS, Superstar Ultra or something like that, is actually better, in my opinion. But the versatility, or like the availability for the Super Nintendo version is just, bar none, like, much better. Available on just, like, all the shit. Until they start making DS games available on, like, the virtual console stuff, it's going to be the one for the Super Nintendo, so it's kind of what we're stuck with. The best Kirby game was Smash CMP. Changed my view. Okay. Number 91. Diddy Kong Racing for the N64. This one, in my very humble opinion, this was the kart racer on the N64. This was the kart racer. It had an adventure mode, it had a battle mode, it had multiplayer. The greatest sin that it committed was that it didn't have a roster of characters that people recognize. I think that it was a much more entertaining version of Mario 64. Diddy Kong Racing, I would put top 25, maybe even top 10. I love that game. This was easily, for the longest time, my favorite racing game of all time. Actually, if I were to qualify it as like my favorite retro racing game of all time, Diddy Kong Racing is definitely at the top of that list. And then they remade it for the DS, which was nice, but it wasn't great. Like, you would have to, at the start of the race, instead of just like pushing A or whatever at the right time to get a little boost at the start, you would have to spin a wheel or blow into the mic to do the fan thing, or excuse me. It just it was a good port. It wasn't a great port, but I would also put it higher than 91, but that is my opinion. Again, people have been begging for another game like it for ages. Yeah, and we won't get it because I think more licensing issues. I don't know. With Rare not being able to actually publish a Donkey Kong game or whatever, I don't know that we're ever going to see it except for maybe a port. Same thing with Donkey Kong 64. I think the IP is tied closer to Nintendo than it is Rare. So, yeah, because it's their character. So that's why we're seeing things like Banjo-Kazooie and Conker's Bad Fur Day get their re-releases and remasters, but we won't see a, what's it called? Diddy Kong or Donkey Kong game. Okay, number 90. I never played this game. I have heard weebs all over the internet sing its praises, but I just don't care to delve into it myself. Number 90 is The World Ends With You. It's another DS game, and then they made a sequel on the Switch. It just never appealed to me, and I don't think it ever will. Like, I think it appeals to a certain kind of person, and it just never got its hooks in me. Oh god. The gargoyles have the power to turn me into stone. Okay. Very great things about it, but yeah, I never thought I wanted to play it. So, number 89, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. I have played both the Wii U original and the Switch remake. It is a good, cute little game where you play as Toad. He's got a heavy-ass backpack, so he can't jump. And you go around all these really, really saccharine, sugar-coated, cute diorama levels. I don't know. It almost feels like it should just be a phone game, the way that it plays. It's good. It started out its life as an extra level in Mario 3D World, and it was good. I don't think it's top 100 Nintendo games good, though. I enjoyed it, but I think there are other games that are much more deserving on this list. Number 88, Golden Sun, The Lost Age. Was this one on the Game Boy Advance, or was this one on the DS? Okay, this one was on the GBA. I think I missed most of the Wii era. That was when I checked out the gaming, especially Nintendo. So, Golden Sun on the GBA. I remember beating Golden Sun, the first one, and then having every intention to starting the second one, but I never did. I don't know what I'm missing out on, because it's a direct sequel to the first one. So you would have to play through the first one again in order to fully grasp what's going on in the second. And I just don't have it in me to do that. Because while I will say Golden Sun was a technical marvel on the GBA, I think it's a very weak RPG in the grand scheme of RPGs. But that being said, the fact that this was like the original Golden Sun was like an original GBA title, like came out in like 2001 or 2 or something, and the fact that it was as robust as it was really, really cool. I enjoyed it a lot. It came out at a time where I was really starting to enjoy turn-based RPGs, and having one on the go, handheld, it was so cool. Was that the GBA game where you had to touch grass to beat the game? No, that one... I need a blue dragon key. That one, I know exactly what you're talking about. That one was I can't remember the name of it, but it was really cool because the cartridge had a little solar panel on it. And what is this guy doing? Okay. And in order to power up your character, you would actually have to go outside and use the power of the sun to power up your character. It was a really cool idea to get kids outside, but also the screen for the Game Boy Advance was awful in direct sunlight. So, you know. So yeah, I enjoyed Golden Sun for what it was, but I really don't know enough about the sequel to be able to say whether or not it's good or bad. Apparently it's better. Usually sequels are better. Usually. But I don't know about this one. Give me money. Whoop. No. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Potion. 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 Is that it? Woman. Oh. Evil stabber. Like the other stabber is benevolent. Jesus, this room is intense compared to the others. Oh, that's right. I'm giving you a power boost. Get up, buddy. Oh, come on. Woo! Well, I have no magic left. You know what sequel we haven't heard more about in a bit? Okami. I need to know more about the Okami sequel. I want to see actual gameplay. I agree. I can't wait to see Okami's art style in PS5 graphics. Think of the girls list and the guys list. Yeah, this list was made exclusively by dudes, by the way. Not that it matters, but it also matters. Okay. Number 87. Mario Golf Toadstool Tour. This is probably my all-time favorite golfing game. While I'm not a huge golf fan IRL, for some reason, golf games, specifically cartoony ones like Hot Shots, or Everybody's Golf, or whatever you want to call it, really grabbed me. And I don't know why. I really don't know why. But Mario Golf Toadstool Tour, no. Absolutely, it shouldn't be. And don't worry, there are things on this list that are going to make you go like, why is that so high? That is criminal. But anyways, I digress. Mario Golf Toadstool Tour, if they were to choose a single Mario Golf game for this list, that is the game. The GameCube one was perfect. The mechanics were perfect. The challenge was just right. Mario Golf Toadstool Tour accomplished something that Mario sports games have yet to replicate in future iterations. There's not been another Mario Golf game or tennis game or anything since then that I would say captures the same essence as Mario Golf Toadstool Tour. I fucking love that one. Top 3 golf video games of all time, in my opinion. Okay. Number 86. Super Monkey Ball 2. So I've dabbled with Monkey Ball and I can see why people like it. However, I myself don't really find it appealing. I think that what it does is interesting, and nothing else really does that. You basically, instead of controlling the ball, you actually control the stage that the ball is on, and you're supposed to collect all the bananas and get to a goal. So, it's fun. To be fair, Super Monkey Ball back in the day was insanely popular. Yeah, so popular that it actually got like arcade cabinets and stuff. So it is, and having played some of them, including this one, I will say that I can see why it would be considered one of the more popular games, especially on the GameCube. The GameCube was a system that was intended to be super experimental with a bunch of different IPs and new IPs and whatnot. Like, just look at Luigi's Mansion, for example. Like, nobody would have thought that you would make a Mario game that wasn't a platformer, and then you get Luigi's Mansion. So, it was a platform that did a lot of experimenting, and Super Monkey Ball was one of those that's like, what the fuck is this? But it's super chill. It's a lot of fun. It can be very addicting. It just never really got its hooks into me. It scratches a similar itch to games like Peggle. Yeah, it's one thing. It's a game that's like just one more round. I want to do one more round. I think I could do that one better. I'm just gonna do it again. It was a lot of fun. I didn't really like the aesthetic of the monkeys, but the gameplay, the gameplay loop was a lot of fun. Number 85. Here's one that I know you will agree should be on the top 100 Nintendo games of all time. Space. Beautiful Joe. That one is probably one of Team Clover's best. I would say that one and Okami were pinnacle Team Clover. Now, should Beautiful Joe be over Beautiful Joe 2 is the question. I played that on one of Chill's random games, whatever the hell I called it, mystery games, and you had suggested it, Space, and I enjoyed it. It's one of those games that, like, I would need to go back casually and really figure out the mechanics, because while I can see why people enjoyed it, it was kind of hard to learn the, like, rewind mechanic and the cinema, whatever stuff on the fly, having never seen it before, playing it completely blind. But it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed the aesthetic. I love the whole movie thing that it does. It was a lot of fun. Personally, I think Beautiful Joe was better than Beautiful Joe 2, but they're very similar games. Top 50, come on. And both very fun. Yeah, and as a side-scrolling beat-em-up, the GameCube didn't do a lot of those. So having that, and in fact, the N64 didn't do a lot of side-scrolling beat-em-ups either. So having that kind of scratched that itch too, which was nice. Alright. Number 84, and very unique, especially for 2005. Like I said, GameCube loved experimenting and just doing wacky stuff that they didn't feel secure enough with the N64 to do. So we got things like Monkey Ball and Beautiful Joe, and I loved the GameCube for it. I think that was when Nintendo was, like, the most experimental. Okay. 84, speaking of the GameCube, F-Zero GX. So, I admittedly have not played an F-Zero game. I frequently whenever it came to F-Zero, or when it came to kart stuff, or racing games on the N64 or GameCube, it was never even in the back of my mind, I want to play something that's like breakneck speed, whatever. Like, I enjoyed things like Mario Kart, Wave Race, Pilot Wings, things that gave you an adrenaline rush, but they weren't like, you know, fucking, I'm gonna take meth and play Mario Kart, like, that kind of speed, just over the top, like, holy shit, this is fast, oh my god! So I never really got into it. F-Zero GX was probably the hardest game I have ever played as a single-player game that wasn't just designed to be difficult for difficulty's sake. Yeah, that's what I've heard about it, too, is, like, because it's breakneck speed, like, it was a gamer's racing game. It was not accessible to everybody, and that's why, in my opinion, that's why it has not really seen any iterations since GX, except for F-Zero 99. It's too difficult of a game and too niche of a game to actually be of interest to the general populace, and it would not sell well. I can guarantee you that's exactly why they made F-Zero 99, F-Zero 99 a free game, is because they know that it's not going to sell well, and if people want F-Zero, here you go. It was very fun. It was a very solid racing game and very challenging. It was very fun designing your own racer and all the customization, but oh my god, it's unforgiving. Yep. And that's exactly why. I think we'll see how Kirby Air Riders, the new one for the Switch that just came out, does sales-wise. And maybe we'll see a revival of F-Zero for the Switch too, but I really doubt it. Just like the Earthbound series, the Mother series, I think that's one that's just kind of like run its course, and while we can appreciate the games that did come out, I really don't think we're going to be seeing many more of those. It's just going to be one of those games. 83, Ring Fit Adventure. Ring Fit Adventure was a huge part of Ratter and Mai's pandemic shutdown. Nobody could go to the gym, you weren't supposed to go outside, you weren't supposed to be able to do anything except stay indoors. And, oh my god, what is this? And this game came out at the exact right time of, what's it called? Everyone's stuck indoors and nobody can go to the gym. Like, if you look up how difficult it was to find a copy of Ring Fit Adventure back, Falcon Claw, Command X during double jump. Oh, neat. If you look up how difficult it was to find a copy of Ring Fit Adventure during the pandemic, there's a good reason. It got people moving. It was honestly, I think it was the best Nintendo Fitness game of all time. Way better than Wii Fit, or Wii Fit U. You got a little Zumba ring, and you got a little leg strap, and you would do a series of exercises that didn't just get, like, one part of your body. You got, like, an all-over exercise after 30 minutes. So, I think that Ring Fit Adventure definitely belongs on this list. It's also one of the Nintendo games that successfully used a peripheral that did well financially for Nintendo. Usually things like you don't go to like a used game store and find a bunch of Ring Fit rings anymore. That's because everybody's still using them on the Switch too. But I feel like shortly after Wii Fit U came out, you would go to like a used game store or a GameStop or whatever and just find tons and tons of the balance boards just all over the place. So it's I feel like it's a very important one. I mean, DDR was objectively the best fitness game of all time. Yeah, but that was not nearly as focused on upper body and lower body. That was specifically cardio. And also, I didn't like the feel of DDR mats. I don't know about you, but like a DDR machine, great. DDR mats always felt like they moved and I never actually pushed a button. Missed it, but do they have Extreme G Racing on N64? Nope. They did have F-Zero GX on the GameCube, but not Extreme G. Alright, but moving on to 82. Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney. I think this is a good spot for that. I think Phoenix Wright was a very, very important game when it came to visual novels. Especially what it was able to achieve on the Game Boy Advance whenever it first came out. It really depends on whether or not you're a narrative heavy gamer or... Ooh. Marker Stone. Great Ace Attorney series is better. Oh, damn. Shots fired. But was that, like, an exclusive Nintendo thing for a bit? I feel like that came out on, like, a lot of stuff. Hey, Keyshawn, how are you?
Hello there.
I think that's why they put this one on the list. I'll Uchi your Gucci, tickle your pickle. Yeah, but should visual novels really be on the top 100 list? Well, see, the thing is, it's not just a visual novel. There was gamification and whatever to it. It wasn't just, like, following through the story of, I don't know, like, you go on the Switch eShop and you find, like, Hentai Girls 6 or whatever. Like, it's just visual. There are visual novels, and then there are interactive stories. I feel like this is more like an interactive story than anything. What game are we talking about? We are doing the IGN Top 100 Nintendo Games of All Time list. And right now we're talking about Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. Best part of Ace Attorney was Chill's Edgeworth voice. Well, thank you. I appreciate that so much. Yeah, it really was one of those games that was just like the Professor Layton games. You either fucking love this or you absolutely hate it. There was no in between. Having played it, I like what the Phoenix Wright games do. Are they my, like, all-time favorite games? Hell no. Are they good games? Yeah, absolutely. And I think the importance of them, especially for how limited the Game Boy Advance was with its hardware, I think it belongs on this list, and 82 is a pretty good placing for it. Okay. Okay. I would not put this one above another one that was on this list, but 81 is Castlevania 3 Dracula's Curse on the NES. I think that there's definitely room... Okay, two things. I think that there's room for an NES Castlevania. I believe that Dracula's Curse is the right choice, but I think that this should be placed lower than Super Castlevania, and I also, at the same time, think that Super Castlevania should be higher up. In fact, I think I would swap where they put Super Castlevania and this one. It doesn't feel right. It just doesn't feel right. So it took everything that Castlevania 1 and 2 did and then turned it up to 11. It did a really good job with that, especially considering the NES and all that. But I just cannot say that it's worthy of 81. Ace Attorney put edging gooners in the mainstream. So yeah, that's my opinion on it. This list is so scuffed. If you're arguing for importance, then just put Castlevania 1. There's no argument to be made that Castlevania 3 stands on its own merits. It's a great game. Yeah, I really don't understand. They're just like... Did they say at the top of the list? I'm gonna read all of this and see just what they said as far as why they're ranking things the way that they are, because some of these things are just like, why? What? Okay. Top to bottom. IGN and Nintendo Life have teamed up for the ultimate ranking of Nintendo console favorites. Video games are synonymous with the name Nintendo, but which of the hundreds of incredible games that have graced the legendary Japanese company's numerous home and handheld consoles are the best? Well, here at IGN, we've teamed up with our friends at Nintendo Life to try and answer that question. What follows is the 100 best Nintendo games of all time, based on a combination of each site's expert opinions. As for what qualifies to make our list, well, the vast majority you'll see here were either developed and or published by Nintendo itself, but there's also room for some others, those games that are synonymous with Nintendo consoles, or at least a period of timed exclusivity on one of its many home devices and handhelds. For example, GTA China Wars sits at 99 despite being developed by Rockstar and arriving later on the PSP, because it had a whole 9 months of being on the Nintendo DS first and was designed with the DS stylus and second screen in mind. Wow. Something is blocking this. But ranking based on a combination of historic innovation, modern ingenuity, and the legacy each has left behind. We made it the fuck up. Yeah, this feels like they considered the best series and then they just picked which ones that they liked the most. It doesn't actually feel like they're following importance or favorite. This is IGN making the shit up. This is IGN making shit up. It's their brand, basically. Okay. Case in point. 80. Mother 3. This is what Nintendo nerds will say is the best in the Mother series. This is the one that has yet to make it over to America, short of emulation and fan translation. And there has yet to be a follow-up to this game. The creator, I guess, thought, well, I made the perfect game, I have no reason to follow this up with anything. And here we are. I have played all the way through Mother 3. A friend of mine in pharmacy school told me that I needed to do it. And I remember there was several days in class where I was playing this instead of paying attention. Far too low. It is a fantastic RPG, and the fact that it's another RPG on the GBA, I gotta stop qualifying it like this because the GBA is showing that, if anything, it's a fantastic turn-based RPG machine. It had the power of her Super Nintendo, so of course its turn-based RPG game is going to be good. But I digress. This is probably one of the best RPGs on the Game Boy Advance. And also, probably one of the greatest Nintendo RPGs of all time. I like it, but there's a community behind it that's just like frothing at the mouth, champing at the bit to get this on like the eShop. And I mean, sure, but I don't know that if I were to make a list, I wouldn't put this in the top Nintendo RPGs of all time. But that's just me. I liked it. There were lots of things that it did that were really cool, like the whole attacking to the rhythm of the fight. I feel like Undertale would take a lot from that years later. A lot of inspiration from that years later, and its influences felt. But yeah, I don't know. Only thing really holding the GB back was memory. It's very true. That and its design didn't reach peak until the SP with the backlight. Number 79, Elite Beat Agents. This was a rhythm game on the DS, and this game was a lot of fun. If you like rhythm games, chances are you've actually played this one. I have not played this one in particular, but I know its importance, and I will agree that one of these should be on the list, because it's had sequels, but Elite Beat Agent should be on the list. There's another Nintendo rhythm game that I'm trying to think of. But I can't remember what it's called. Oh my god. It's got like the wrestler, and it's like, wubba dubba dubba dubba, is that right? Whoa, you go, big guy. I can't remember what it is, but it's another Nintendo rhythm game, and I prefer that over Elite Beat Agents. Oldest game I played is probably Minecraft or something. Did you ever play it in alpha? I had a girlfriend in pharmacy school that was super into the Minecraft alpha, and I watched her play it, and I'm just like, wow, this is not really appealing to me. I wonder how far this is gonna go. And then, well, here we are. Kick, punch, it's all in the mind. If you want to test me, I'm sure you'll find the things will teach you are sure to beat you. Nevertheless, you'll get a lesson from teacher. No, kick! No, I started playing when bees were added. I have no idea when that was. All I know is it used to be a very niche, like only elite gamers would play this. I had a classmate that actually played this in a computer lab, and man, yeah, it was just a game of all time. I would look at it and I'd be like, wow, that's cool. But it didn't really appeal to me. I never played it though. I'm gonna be honest with you. I have never actually played Minecraft. I don't hate how much love it gets. I'm not gonna say that it's a bad game, because it's not. I just personally have never played it. And don't ask me to do a Let's Play of it, because I feel like that's overdone on YouTube, and nobody's ever going to see that. Parappa the Rapper belongs on every top 100 list forever. 2016 or so. IGN sources. It was revealed to me in a dream. 78. Okay, everybody get pissed. 78. Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Kong Quest. This is so wrong. So wrong. Are you kidding me? Diddy's Conquest? The second Donkey Kong? This is the Donkey Kong Country game. Like, there are other Donkey Kong games that you could make a ring with magic to make you more resistant to lightning attacks. There are other Donkey Kong games that you could be like, well, this one is technically better, but, like, DKC 2 still holds up so good that it's, like, on every gamer's top 10 platformer of all time. This and Yoshi's Island and Super Mario World and Super Mario Bros. 3. Like, you just... What? This is so dumb. This is the first time that I'm just kind of like, they really fucked up with this one. This is bad. I think you mean 8, not 78. 10 out of 10 rage bait. I just want to talk to whoever made this. Does anyone have a hot take of original NES game being better than SNES? I feel like the number one thing that you could say is Super Mario Bros. 3 is better than Mario World. I think you have people in both camps. Zelda Classic was better than Link to the Past. Fight me. I think they were two very different games. I like what they did, what each did, but honestly, Zelda 1, like, once you got into a dungeon, it was okay, but, like, sometimes finding those dungeons was needlessly difficult. Okay, I'm gonna take my first break. Everybody get pissed off that IGN and Nintendo Life think that Donkey Kong Country 2 is worth being put below the lower quarter, and also, or lowest quarter, and also get mad that Super Mario Sunshine is 77. Mario Sunshine to IGN is a better game than Donkey Kong Country 2. Discuss. Alright, what have you guys been saying? I've never played any of the game, but considering the reputation, I couldn't possibly understand what gets above this. Super Mario Sunshine being on the list just tells me that every Mario game is going to be on this list, and they spaced them out so it wouldn't just be the whole top 10. Not true. Mario Teaches Typing isn't on this list. I hope. Literally just glazing Mario. Mario was important, but Sunshine was the least important Mario game. People qualify Mario Sunshine the same way that I and many others qualify Assassin's Creed Black Flag. It's a good game. It is not a good Mario game. And I will die on that hill. You compare it to 64 or Galaxy, it is not nearly as good as either of those. You compare it to Mario 3, or you compare it to Super Mario World, it is not nearly as good as either of those. It is still a really fun game, though. Okay. 76. Another good SNES RPG, Secret of Mana. Wait, can I get through? Oh. To be here? Oh, I go back this way. It's Mario 64, but they gave him Dash Rendar's jetpack. Wait, Toka became Ninja Rufio? Yeah, everybody's name is fucked up. I don't understand why. Speaking of, Shadows of the Empire better be on this damn list. Blah blah blah. Secret of Mana was a very good SNES RPG. It's one that I admittedly have not played all the way through, but I know that it must be good if they made so many sequels to it and whatever. I wouldn't put it on my top 5 Nintendo RPGs of all time, but I know that the community for it has very strong opinions. So, yeah, it's kind of like Mother 3. People who love it fucking love it. Only Rufio I know stays at the end of Hill. Get the fuck back there. When someone makes a reference you don't get. Alright. Cracking the top 75. Number 75, Ogre Battle 64, person of lordly caliber. Play better games. So this was basically the game that Nintendo fans got instead of Final Fantasy Tactics. I've never played this one, but this was a game that people who like RPGs and didn't get a lot of good ones on the N64. It scratched an itch. Like she's down here. Oh, trinket. This was one of those games that, like, because the N64 didn't have good RPGs, like you have shit like Quest 64. This kind of scratched an itch that they were wanting to be scratched. Ooh. Titties. Look at them ancient Mesopotamia titties. Okay. What am I supposed to do here? So, moving on from Ogre Battle, 74. This is the perfect spot for it. Wave Race 64. Wave Race 64 is still, to this day, like some of the best water in video games I've ever seen. I don't know how they did it, but Wave Race 64 is just so fucking pretty. It's just so pretty. I don't know why. It was like one of the original N64, or one of the original games on the N64. And it was a lot of fun. Oh god, was I supposed to be like all the way over there? I feel like there's something that I should be able to do in this room, but I just don't see it. N64 didn't have good RPs. What about Paper Mario? I mean, the N64 had some of the fewest number of RPGs. Like, actual role-play game, level up, turn-based, like, whatever. N64 had significantly less than the Super Nintendo, and they weren't nearly as good quality. Wave Race 64 was the game you would see in any public game room. It had an aesthetic to it that was just super nice. I liked it a lot. Number 73. Have no opinion on this. Sin and Punishment Star Successor. No idea what that is. Don't care. Now, this one is right. I think I would place it higher, but that's just me. 72. Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2. Rogue Squadron 1 was impressive. Rogue Squadron 2, to this day, feels like it was made for, like, the PS4 era. Like, it holds up. It's one of those Nintendo games that's just, like, if they made this for the Switch, if they just did a little bit of tweaking for the Switch 2, it could be really good. Rogue Squadron 2 belongs in top 20. I will die on that hill. I fucking loved it. It was one of the first games that did, like, dogfighting right, you know? It was very pretty. Let's see here. Ronaldo's house. Last save point. Okay, I'm gonna go back to Ronaldo's house. Oh, are you kidding me? Get your ass over here. Fuck you. Jesus. Show me any Nintendo game that's ever done more, been more polished than Rogue Squadron 2. What are your opinions on Rogue Squadron 3? Did you ever play that one? I think that was also GameCube, right? Oh my god, I just realized I don't have Rogue Squadron on the GameCube. Rogue Squadron 3 was good, but I don't know if you could say it was polished. I just realized that I don't have Rogue Squadron.
Is this fine? Yes, certainly.
And now I'm upset.
Is this fine? Would you like anything else? Is this fine? Yes, certainly.
Is this fine?
Is that all? What would you like
What do I
today?
have to sell? Rogue Squadron 3 suffered from trying to be too many things at once. Well, what do you think about Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. That was a Wii U jam, and then they remastered it for the Switch. I have zero opinion on Xenoblade. It's whatever. Feels very weeby. I still enjoyed it, but it was my least favorite of the trilogy. So I'm going to move on to number 70, Live Alive, Cruising World Racing on the Moon. Live Alive. Let's read their description. It's remarkable how many amazing JRPGs didn't make it to the West during the lifetime of the SNES Super Famicom, and Live Alive is perhaps one of the most notable examples. A time-traveling epic which spans multiple scenarios and boasts a varied cast of protagonists, Square's 1994 classic is unlike any other game in its genre. It's a shame, then, that it was considered a commercial flop at the time of its original release. Bingo. RS3 was ambitious. Welcome, Dan. But yeah, Live Alive I also don't have an opinion on. I've got the game for the Switch, but I've yet to play it. Number 69, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out.
I appreciate your business.
So, in my absolutely humble opinion, I think that the best Punch-Out was the one for the Wii. Purely because you actually got to, like, punch. You got to be in the game. It felt really fun to be Little Mac and punch the shit out of some fighters and whatever. And then also, I think, wasn't that the one where you could fight Donkey Kong? That was pretty fucking cool. Punch-Out doesn't really belong in this list, more like an honorable mention. I agree. And Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, putting the NES one on there is pretty, yeah. If you throw the Wii-Con at the TV, it does more damage. 68. Wario Land 4. Wario Land 4 is amazing. If you haven't played that one, it is available on the Game Boy Advance Virtual Console, and I highly recommend it. So basically what happened with Wario Land is they took Super Mario Land for the Game Boy, and they decided, you know what, Mario doesn't really need to have his attention divided between this and the consoles. Like at this point, let's just put 1942 on the list, referring to the Punch-Out. They didn't want Mario to be split between the consoles and the handheld, and so they kind of just ran with the fact that Wario didn't have his own game franchise, and they're like, people kind of liked Wario, so they gave him Super Mario Land 3 Wario's Land, whatever it's called. And then from there, they're just like, why don't we just call it Wario Land? And it's a good game. So, for the Zoomers out there, this is what inspired Pizza Tower. This is the original Pizza Tower. So, if you like Pizza Tower, then you will fucking love Wario Land 4. So, get out there and try it. Highly recommend it. Did Waluigi ever get his own game? No, Waluigi has only ever been like third or fourth banana in like sports games. Here's one that Riders actually played almost completely through. 67, Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. This was a good one. This was the flagship Mario game that everybody was like, ugh, but it's not Mario RPG. And the writing was so good that they're just like, well, I guess it's okay. We'll let this slide. Ring of Fire makes you more resistant to fire attacks. Neat. That doesn't push me forward at all. 67. 6767. So this one was good. I haven't played through it myself, but I have played through a couple of the Mario and Luigi games. quite frankly, I think I would have put Inside Story on this list, not Mario Superland Saga, Superstar Saga. Loved it, but the difficulty spike at the final boss made me quit. Yeah, I remember when we first started dating, you brought out your Game Boy and was like, I've played this game a lot, but I can never beat the final boss. And then I said, let me try, and I tried playing it, and I couldn't beat him. And Ryder was like, see? He's really hard. And it's like, yep. So clearly the games have challenge. And clearly they also have merit if they've been sticking around this long. But I just think that this is the wrong one for the top 100 list. Not enough stash. Number 66. Donkey Kong Arcade. I don't think that this one belongs on the list. I don't think that this game merits being on this list. This is while important, this game sucks. It's got 4 levels that you repeat ad nauseum, and it's boring as shit. Like, I just did not like it. That's my opinion. If I had $1 for how wrong this list was, I would have $1. Oh, you'd have like $5 at this point. Because they're saying that Donkey Kong Arcade is better than Donkey Kong Country 2. By a very large margin, like 20 spots. If we mean historically significant games, then sure, but by any other metric, it doesn't belong on any top. Where can I go? Couldn't do anything over here. That's behind one of those doors where I had to push more of the statues. That was locked with a key. I think I'm just gonna have to explore another area. I don't think I can do anything here. So yeah, I don't think that this game belongs on the list at all. 65, Dragon Quest XI, Echoes of an Elusive Age. So this was a good Dragon Quest game. This was my second favorite Dragon Quest game behind Dragon Quest VIII. This reminds me of the WWE Hall of Fames where they just let anybody into the upper management, like, regardless of even if they wrestled. Dark place of waterfalls. Let's try this. This was a very good game. I enjoyed it. I played it all the way through. It's fantastic. This version that they're talking about, the one that came out for the Switch, was particularly nice because you could actually swap between the 3D graphics and 2D sprites, and that was really charming and cute and fun. If I were to say what Dragon Quest belongs on this game, I would say one of the NES titles. I feel like I still, like you just said, Space, I don't know if you're going for which one is the best or which one is the most important. It feels like they keep on flip-flopping between the two. Oh, Lord. So I would say one of the NES titles, probably 3. But personal preference, I think that Dragon Quest VIII on the 3DS should be on this one. That one was definitely the best, in my opinion. This one, oh yeah, I already read that. Alright, number 64. A shame that it's not an N64 game, but here we are. 64, Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate. So, a Monster Hunter game was definitely going to appear on this list at some point, because there was a point in time where they stopped releasing these games exclusively onto Sony platforms, and they just released it on the Nintendo 3DS. And that was honestly the right move to do, because at the time, the PS Vita had died, and the 3DS was still thriving. So, Capcom decided that the best place for this Monster Hunter game would be on the 3DS. Monster Hunter 4 is probably the one that I played the most. Even more than a game like World or whatever. I found this one to be the most entertaining, and it's really thanks to the influence from just a really solid experience, especially on the go, and it made linking up with other players that I would have put a Monster Hunter game on my top 100 Nintendo games. But here we are. To Turbo. This is probably the 3 and a third. But this was a very, very important fighting game, because prior to this you had the original Street Fighter 2, and before that you had the really crappy Street Fighter where you played as like white gi dude or red gi dude, and it just and then they improved upon it by adding even more fighters and adding things like combos, pull-off combos. But ever since Super Street Fighter 2, or maybe even Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, or even Street Fighter 2, you were able to link attacks and do more damage and do combinations of things, and gamers really, really liked that, and so it just started to become a feature in fighting games. So it's a fun little video game. This game over Super Street Fighter. So yeah, that's what I have to say about that. Street Fighter 2 Turbo set the standard for what fighting good should be. Yep, and then you started getting the alpha things. Yeah, totally. The fact that DKC 2 is absolutely criminal. This almost invalidates the list, in my opinion. I don't know how popular of opinion this is, but I actually enjoy Yoshi's Island more than Super Mario World. You can fight me on that. I enjoyed Super Mario World, but I felt like the challenge, Rising Shot, square during vertical high, it was a lot of fun to be able to like aim eggs and ricochet, and it's just, you can't compare the two. They played so different, and the art style, like when I think art style on the Super Nintendo, this is the first game that comes to mind. This is criminally low on this list. Criminally low. 61, we get our first Zelda, and it is Zelda Twilight Princess. Now, I would place it higher, but particular, I think I agree with where this is in reference to the other Zeldas. Twilight Princess, it was fun. It's probably got some of the best dungeon design. Boring in the first 2-3 hours. It fucking sucks. And then after you get out of the Wolf Link and regular Link, that's when things start getting fun. And it's just, it doesn't, even Skyward Sword, gets into the gameplay faster than this one. Twilight Princess is good, but it's based. Not a fan of any Zelda game outside of the classic Zelda, Wind Waker, Spirit Tracks. Never played Breath of the Wild though. Breath of the Wild is a very good game. Best Zelda game. I feel like it kind of loses. Is the evolution of what the original Zelda was like, where you just had to go around and, like, the original Zelda on the NES and Breath of the Wild share that DNA. However, we have a Zelda where I go into a dungeon and I get a thing, and then when I get the thing, I use it to fight the boss. And while that's... but that's what I think. Anyone else's stream glitching? I reset the app, but no better. Oh, refusing new tab seems to help. I'm not seeing things on my end. Yes, buffering for me too. Really? It must be our internet. I wonder if I'm getting notification of dropped frames. It was doing the same thing last night as well. That's what I was describing. Well, shit. Oh, you know what it is? It's because it's Thanksgiving break and everybody's on the fucking internet. I guarantee you that's what it is. As long as we aren't, as long as it isn't going down completely, we'll keep powering through. Can you at least hear me? Like, if I keep talking about these top games, are you at least able to hear me? Or is it just like screen glitching? I'll just watch less live. Yeah. Alright. Number 60. We see our first Pokemon game. I can get a few words here and there. Missed what game you were talking about in reference to Super Mario World and Yoshi's Island. Oh, jeez. In number 60, we have our first Pokemon game. Pokemon Black and White 2. So... my personal pick for... it's buffering. My personal pick for Nintendo games, or for Pokemon games, is Fire Red, Leaf Green. People will be like diehard Red and Blue fans, and Yellow. But in my opinion, Fire Red, Leaf Green is the definitive definitive Red, Blue, and Yellow. And then you have Heart Gold, Soul Silver, which I think is probably peak Nintendo Pokemon games, at least. And then I wish Tyler were here to weigh in on this. So my Pokemon career pretty much stopped at Black and White 1, but I do remember it was the best of the DS Pokemon games that I played. I wish Tyler were here to weigh in on this as the resident Pokemon expert of these streams. But I do know that the Pokemon community regards Pokemon Black 2 and White 2 as not only better than Black 1 and White 1, but also just one of the best Pokemon games of all time. I have played it, and I agree it's a good game. It's not my top Pokemon game, though. So, yeah, I think it's in the right spot. Worst named Pokemon games of all time, right? I hate whenever they do this shit, where they take, like, a name and then add 2 to it. Like, it's super lazy. 59, Perfect Dark. So, Perfect Dark on the N64 was the game that you get when you take what they did with GoldenEye and then perfected it. You smooth out all the rough edges, make the multiplayer even better, make the actual plot even better. It was criminally underplayed, and it was just honestly a better experience than GoldenEye 007. Perfect Dark was the best game that nobody played. Exactly. No, yeah, and then we had Perfect Dark 0 on the 360 that literally nobody played. And it did so bad commercially that they never made another Perfect Dark. They should have called the one on the 360 Imperfect Dark. But, tis, actually. Joke. Okay. 58. I feel like this is right. Donkey Kong 94. It was poorly marketed. The name wasn't eye-catching. Nobody knew what it was. Mechanism has triggered the bridge in the room with a large waterfall. Oh, cool. Okay, so Donkey Kong 94. Donkey Kong 94 was the iteration on the arcade classic that made it significantly better than the original. Let me just read this little blurb. Donkey Kong 94 disguises itself as a handheld remake of the arcade original through its first 4 stages, but after you dismantle the girders and drop the big ape on its head, the true game reveals itself to be one of the most ambitious reimaginings in Nintendo history. What follows is over 100 stages of pure puzzle platforming inspired by Nintendo's timeless classic, where Mario must climb ladders, flip switches, and hurtle over enemies to reach the elusive Donkey Kong. It's not just a nostalgia trip, though. DK94 is responsible for introducing some of Mario's most formative moves, like his triple jump and backflip, a full 2 years before Super Mario 64 would bring them into 3D. This game was on the Game Boy, and it took what the original Donkey Kong did and turned it up to 11, and this is the one that deserves to be on a top 100 list. This high up? No. But it deserves to be on the list. Donkey Kong 94 is an outstanding Game Boy game, and more people need to play it. If it were like Underworld or something people recognize, then it would have been much more successful, but we all know DK64 is top 10 all day, every day. There was one simple change that they could have done for DK64 that modders implemented that made it a much more playable experience. And I've seen somebody play it this way, and they can't understand why people hate DK64 so much. And somebody has to remind them. You are playing on a mod where you can literally push L or R on the controller and swap between the Kongs. Imagine finding yellow bananas and playing as Chunky, who can only get green bananas, and having to go all the way back to a swap barrel and choose Donkey Kong instead of just cycling through the Kongs. Cycling through the Kongs is a very simple change that they could do if they were to re-release the game that makes the entire thing, honestly, even better than like games like Banjo-Kazooie. True, the character swapping was annoying as fuck, but catchy little theme though. Oh yeah. I think they could have implemented that theme in other ways though. Not get rid of it entirely. Like, I feel like they could have put that in the pause thing or something. But yeah, that one little change makes that game. I still say that Banjo-Kazooie is better, but it's definitely better than Banjo-Tooie and like any of the other Rare platformers. I think it's better. Just as long as you do that one little thing. It just becomes a lesson in tedium if you have to constantly swap between Kongs just to get that banana. I'm told the trick to not hating DK64 is to try to not 100% it. For me, it just burned me out. To be clear, I was a small child. Number 57. This is the wrong place on this list. Like, there's so many games that came before this that are so much better than this. But to be fair, they haven't really listed a lot of games that are hardwired into online. Oh, shit. First, let me kill these guys. Number 57 is Splatoon 3. I just don't think it should be this high on the list. And it certainly shouldn't be above things like Donkey Kong Country 2 and like all that shit. This is the wrong place on the list for this thing. This is awful. Splatoon is probably, besides what's it called? Mario Kart Deluxe, 8 Deluxe, and Smash Bros. The online game for Nintendo fans. It's. I never got into it. I never really liked games like this, but yeah, I don't know. I really just don't like Splatoon enough to put it 57 at the top 100 Mario games. And then we have this, number 56, Super Mario Party Jamboree. I feel like this is recency bias, because this is the newest of the Mario Party games. My personal take on best Mario Party game is Mario Party 2 or 3, I want to say 5 on the GameCube. The GameCube had a lot of Mario Party games. But my favorite, nostalgia-wise, is Mario Party 2. If you're over the age of 12, I don't get Splatoon being on your top 100 list. Exactly. Like, you really have to just be like, this has to be one of those things where they're like, yeah, importance and whatever over actually enjoying a game. Like, I really don't know. I just don't like Splatoon as much as... I don't know, I think it's a Zoomer game. I think this is going to be one of those games that when Zoomers are in their 30s, it's going to get remade and is going to be a super easy money grab for future Nintendo. Number 55, Bayonetta 2. Yes, okay. This feels adequately placed. This feels correctly placed, and this feels like the correct Bayonetta to put on this list. Zoomers are too old for Splatoon at this point. You think it's a Gen Alpha game? This Bayonetta was made exclusively for the Wii U, because Nintendo actually funded whoever made Bayonetta. Oh Jesus. Whoever made Bayonetta. And this game wouldn't have existed if it wasn't for Nintendo being like, you know what? Give us more of that super hot Umbral Witch. Yeah, we're totally into this. Even though we're a super I want to say Christian, but just like family-friendly company. So, to this day, Bayonetta has one of my favorite soundtracks of all time. And that's another thing. Like, the soundtrack is good, the fighting is fantastic, and they took everything from Bayonetta 1 and turned it up to 11. And then if you're playing it on the Wii U, you got a bunch of exclusive costumes. Like, you could dress her up as Link, you could dress her up as Princess Peach, you could dress her up as Fox. And what was even cooler is there's a specific stage that you play, and you actually play it in an R-Wing a la Star Fox 64. Bayonetta 2 deserves to be on this list, and I think this is the right placing for it. Okay, number 54, Animal Crossing New Leaf. Animal Crossing New Leaf. So, I had played the game on the GameCube, and the Animal Crossing on the GameCube was fun. I remember actually playing it over at Toko's place when we were kids, and Animal Crossing on the GameCube was a lot of fun. I never played the one on the Wii. I dabbled on the one on the DS, but the one that I remember playing a ton of was New Leaf on the 3DS. In fact, relatively recently, I went back and tried to start a new game. I'm going to say this about Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing is one of those games that, when it comes out, get your fill of it on the first playthrough, because you are never going to get the same experience after you finish, after you wrap up playing through it. I've tried going back and starting up Animal Crossing New Horizon and whatever, and it doesn't feel the same. Bayo 2 is best Bayo. Absolutely agree. It does not feel the same when you're out of the zeitgeist. When everybody is done playing it and you don't have people to like visit or whatever, Animal Crossing loses its luster and falls victim to nostalgia, and that's it. There's no recapturing the enjoyment that you had with Animal Crossing after you're done with your initial playthrough. So, I digress. The 3DS game came at a time where I saw a lot of people on YouTube that I liked playing it, and I had friends who were playing it, and it was a very fun social thing. But after I stopped playing it, trying to go back to it just sucked. I've never played Animal Crossing, but that is the first game where I realized the girls actually played games. Yeah, that was actually the first game where my friends... Jesus. I'm guessing he wanted to get in the chair again. That buckle. Anyways, New Horizons was the game that, all of my friends' wives who do not play games wanted to play this game. And it was really, really funny how much a pandemic and a cutesy game like Animal Crossing, just the Venn diagram of people who never played games suddenly met. And it was really interesting. So, number 53. I would put this one higher. I don't know how high, but I would put it higher. 53 is Metroid Dread. Metroid Dread deserves to be on this list. As far as I'm concerned, the 2D Metroids, the best, in my opinion, is the reimagining of the original Metroid with the GBA release of Metroid Zero. Followed by Super, followed by Dread. Dread was amazing, definitely needs to be higher. Yeah. It was a lot of fun. And Metroid Dread, I would say that the one thing that it really had against it was that it was it was much more handholdy than a Super Metroid. And the soundtrack was not memorable. The thing is, there's a lot of amazing games I have not seen yet that should probably be on the list. So, I would say that Metroid Dread it would be probably my favorite Metroid if those things were fixed. I don't want you to hold my hand all the time. The option to be like, okay, where do I go is nice, but to basically be told, go here, kind of sucks. The point of Metroid is just to, like, be stuck in an unknown area, an unknown world, and try to figure things out on your own. So, I think those things against it, I still think it's a top 3 side-scrolling Metroid for me. If you include all Metroids, it's probably eked out of the top 3 because Metroid Prime goes in there, but yeah. So, moving on from that, 52, WarioWare Inc. Mega Micro Games. I have dabbled with these, but I have never actually played one that I'm like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever. I don't think... It's interesting that they give this series to Wario. I feel like if they wanted to make Waluigi his own series, I feel like they could have had these Wario games be Waluigi games, and then they could have just had more Wario Land games, you know? Chill, could you share the list in Discord after stream? Yeah, I can. Thing is, should a party game be on this list? Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at too. And also, I think the WarioWare Gold on the DS is like a much better WarioWare game than this one. But I don't know enough about the games to argue otherwise. 51 is Advance Wars. I will say, Advance Wars is fucking amazing. It's probably... No. Advance Wars 2 is probably my favorite Advance Wars. This was the tactical RPG that the West got instead of Fire Emblem. Because we Westerners couldn't even fathom things like horses and spears and shit like that. We have to have tanks and army men to appeal to us because we're just a bunch of savages over here. No way that Fire Emblem would have done well over here. But I digress. Only Advance Wars I played was on the DS, and it was good, but I can think of 100 Nintendo games that are better. They did do a remake of Advance Wars 1 and 2 on the Switch, which are really, really good, and I highly recommend them if you want to scratch the itch of a tactical RPG. But yeah, I think Advance Wars is placed way too high on this list. But it's also a very good game, so I think it deserves to be on the list. I would put it much more north of 50 than just smack dab in the middle of the list. Let's see. Number 50, exact middle of the list, Mario Kart Double Dash. Any of you guys actually play this game a lot when you were younger? I had it, but whenever I would play it, I would just be like, I want to play Mario Kart 64 or Diddy Kong's Racing instead of this. It just never hit me in a way that, like, got me hooked on it. It was a interesting evolution of Mario Kart, where you had 2 kart racers that you could swap between. But I don't know. If I were making this list, I don't know that I would put it that high. I haven't played Double Dash, but it was probably the least played game I own. This feels like top 100 Nintendo games that we could think of off the top of our head. Honestly, some of these picks. 49, Luigi's Mansion 3. I think this is well placed. Luigi's Mansion 1 was a good first foray into the series. Like I said, the GameCube was very experimental, and Luigi's Mansion is a prime example of that. Luigi's Mansion 2 split things up into level-based shit, and it wasn't nearly as beloved as Luigi's Mansion 1. Luigi's Mansion 3 really turned things up to 11 and included things like Gooigi, to where you could play with your kids, and they would never actually die. Nice, heart max up. They would never actually die. They could just return after they lost all their hit points. It was a very safe inclusion to this list. And it stopped trying to be creepy. It just started to feel very goofy. It felt like Hotel Transylvania, the game, you know? Except good and not made by Adam Sandler. Let's see, number 48, Wii Sports. This feels right. Wii Sports is very important as far as, like, everybody who owned a Wii got Wii Sports. Everybody enjoyed Wii Sports for different reasons, and nobody had to pay for it. It was a good game on its own merit, and I like it. I like it a lot. But I don't know that it is worthy of being north of 50. Wii Sports is probably the most played video game of all time in terms of number of people who ever played it. Yeah, there isn't an old person alive during that era that wasn't like, oh, bowling, I remember bowling. All I have to do is hold this here B button and let it go and I can bowl like in real life. Like, that's what you got a lot of. You got grandma playing Wii Sports, you got everybody's, like, kid siblings and cousins playing Wii Sports. Like, it was a very easy game to whip out at Thanksgiving or Christmas and be like, hey, who wants to bowl? Who wants to play tennis? It was very accessible. In fact, when it comes to accessible games, I think this is on the Mount Rushmore. Yeah, here, Grandpa, hold this Wiimote. Ta-da, you scored a strike. You're now a gamer. Look at you. So, yeah. 47. The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, and in quotation marks, or in parentheses, all versions. So it's talking about the Game Boy version, the Game Boy Color version, and then the Switch version. And I really enjoyed the Switch version. It had its problems with FPS dropping or frame dropping on the on Switch, but it plays perfectly on the Switch 2 now, and I think it lives and dies by its cutesy aesthetic. So you could play the original game on the Game Boy. You could play the colorized version on the Game Boy Color, or you could play the newest version that does a bunch of quality of life adjustments on the Switch, and all of them have their own merit. I would say either play the one on the Switch or play the one on Game Boy Color, but that's just me. Title completely spoiled the ending, not gonna lie. He wakes up! What? 46. This is surprising that it was placed higher, but 46 is F-Zero X. Space, would you put the N64 version of F-Zero above the GameCube version? Because I wouldn't. I don't understand why this one is higher than the one on the GameCube. Like, what? Why? What was it about this one that really made you go, no, but this one though? This is peak F-Zero. I don't think so. It depends. Are we saying more important or a better game? I just can't tell at this point. I just can't tell. More important, yes. Better game? Not a chance. 45. What do you feel about Super Mario Bros., the original, on the NES? This is yet another case of, are you talking about importance or are you talking about preference? Because importance, this should be top 10, right? At least top 20. But 45? If I'm going off of favorite Mario games, this isn't even on my list. If I'm going off of most important and influential Nintendo games, this is top 10. Like, it really is. They needed to stick to their guns on one thing or another, and they didn't. And it made the whole thing confusing, and it's like, how are you going to sit here and tell me that Super Mario Bros. Is a better platformer than Donkey Kong Country 2? Yeah, 45 is weird no matter how you look at it. I don't know. Also, I've never beat Super Mario Bros., so... But what I did beat, number 44, Banjo-Kazooie. This is when I think of N64 platform, or when I think of platformers, this is like the first one I go to. Well, not the first one, but you know what I mean. This is a very, very important one, and it's very dear to me. And yeah, I love it a lot. Clearly, I named my first dog after the bear. This is a very important game, and I think 44 is a good spot for it. I think there are definitely 44 other games that are better than this, but if it were my personal preference, I would put this top 10, although, well, then again, that's if I'm making my favorite and not, like, most important, because if you were to put this one up against Mario 64, guess which one would win? Mario Bros. 1, I mean, not Banjo-Kazooie. Oh, I beat it twice in like half an hour. Mario Bros. 1, not Banjo-Kazooie. Yeah, see, that's the thing about Mario Bros. 1, though, is once you, like, know the ins and outs of it, it's super easy. Like, that's the whole reason why they made Mario Bros. 2, the hard one, not the one that was like Doki Doki Panic. I was about to say Literature Club. That'd be a Mario game. But yeah, it definitely is one of those ones that's like, this isn't the most important, but it did take what Mario 64 did and, in my opinion, made it better. It was a lot more fun. Mario 64 was a lot, or Banjo-Kazooie was a lot more fun to me than Mario 64. But that's not to say that Mario 64 is bad. It's whatever. So now we have 43. Speaking of Mario, we have Super Mario Bros. Wonder. This game will have a special place in my heart pretty much forever, because when we were in Japan was just before Super Mario Bros. Wonder came out. So we saw a lot of advertisements for it on the subways, and I actually started it when I was in Japan. I downloaded it the day that we went to the grand opening of the Nintendo store in Kyoto. There was a lot of things about our trip to Japan and this game that lined up to where it's like, it's got a very special place in my heart. That being said, is it better than the original Super Mario? Probably. But again, we're going off of recency bias, and we're also going off of, are we talking about importance, or are we talking about enjoyability, personal preference? Oh, hi! Oh, hi! Honey in your hair. Oh. What are you looking at, little boy? Yeah? Whoa! I see. Oh, God. Hold on. Whew. Little boy is watching me play right now and going, whoa! Whew. This can't even be like, these are my top 100 games list. It seems like they were just trying to be nuanced and it failed miserably. Like, see, that's my thing about it too. It's like, I can't tell where they're coming from anymore. Are they trying to go for fan favorites? Are they trying to go for importance? Are they trying to go for their own? Like, this is a terrible, terrible list. Just flat out. 42. Mario Kart World. So I don't think I would even put Mario Kart World on my list. Why? Because there's too much recency bias, and also people. It's not to the same point that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe got to. It's just, it's a good game. It's got a fantastic soundtrack, but the online multiplayer leaves me wanting. The fact that you can't just choose a track and go with it and do 3 laps of it bothers me. There's a lot about this game that, like, after I beat the single player, I stopped playing. I didn't like it. See, in what list is Mario Kart World 42 and Mario Bros. 1 45? Yeah, for real. These games shouldn't be close together on any list. Well, this'll make you scratch your noodle. Just below Mario Kart World, the original Legend of Zelda at 41. Do you think the original Zelda should be south of 30? I think that I really think that it should be like closer to 25 than it should be 50. I really do. It's but it's important. Like, if I'm going off of games that I enjoyed, it's probably one of the NES games that I enjoyed the most. But is it one of the Zelda games that I enjoyed the most? No, not at all. So I don't even know. This game was probably one of the best games on the NES, and is one of the original ones on the NES too. I think Zelda Classic is one of the most important Nintendo games and also one of the most fun. I would argue that it is probably the most fun game that you could play on the NES. strong opinion, but I believe that it's between this one and Mario Bros. 3 that are like the most fun to play on the NES. But that's my opinion. Woo-hoo! What do you think about this one? Number 40. Super Smash Bros. Melee. At 40. Good placement? While I will say that Super Mario Bros. Or Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is the like game that you would go to nowadays if you wanted to play Smash Bros. 40? No. That's wrong. That is objectively wrong. That is also a north of 30 game. Like, what the fuck? 39, Kirby and the Forgotten Land. This one came out on the Switch. They had a re-release on the Switch too with some DLC. This was a good Kirby game. I would say that the top 3 Kirby games, according to the community, would be this one, followed by Robobot, followed by Superstar Saga. Or, not Superstar Saga, Kirby Superstar. So, I could see why they chose it. Would I include it? No, but here we are. It's not my list. Top 20 all day. In what world is Melee 40 but Kirby 39? 38. Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars. No mention of the remake, so this is clearly talking about the original. And yeah, I agree. This is a black turtle key. Jesus Christ, I need all the different colored keys. When it comes to RPGs on the SNES, my number one is probably this one, honestly. Mario RPG, followed by Chrono Trigger, followed by Final Fantasy 3/6. This is just phenomenal, and I am able to beat this game in a single sitting, but it's got so much charm to it and did so many things with RPGs that other RPGs didn't do. It's just so much fun. It really is. We'll say there are things about the remake that I like better, but this one on its own, easily one of my top favorite RPGs of all time, especially on the SNES. Bears are attracted to women's periods. Like, that's just it. Not even like accredited to a certain person. That's just a fact, a science fact. Wow. I'm gonna say that's a fake quote. It's totally not. Number 37. Okay. This placement seems right. Metroid Zero Mission plus original Metroid. That was a Reddit quote, and you didn't read the message I sent before that. Oh. Let me ask Magic Quote Ball what it thinks of this list. Quote. Oh, it's a Magic Quote Ball. Gotcha. So yeah. What's it called? This seems like the right spot for Zero Mission. Zero Mission is one of my, if not my, all-time favorite 2D Metroid game of all time. It's just so replayable. It took everything that the original Metroid did and refined it and made it better. It's a really good one. And then, if you wanted to suffer through the original Metroid, after you beat Zero Mission, you could go back and play the original. I will say the only thing against it is the part where you play as Zero Suit Samus. It was interesting, but ultimately it felt shoehorned in and didn't feel necessary. It almost felt like they wanted to make a Zero Suit Samus game. That's why they called it Zero Mission. But they're like, well, but we don't have anything for her to really do. But what we could do is just remake a game that people never play anymore. Zero Mission is fine, but again, I assume that Metroid Classic is going to be on the list. And they put here Metroid Zero Mission and then in parentheses plus Metroid, so this includes the original Metroid. Number 36, GoldenEye. I don't think that they should have included both a zero. I don't think that they should have included what's it called? Zero, whatever. God damn it. Perfect Dark. I don't think they should have included Perfect Dark in this one. I think that was a misstep. There's no reason for you to include both those games on this list. Oh, I see. But, like I was saying, the gameplay for 007 was very important. It was the first first-person shooter that actually took into account certain spots where you shot enemies. So headshots would kill people immediately, and that translated over into things like Halo and all of that. So it's very influential. But if you go back and try and play it, it's dog water. It's not good, but it's here. Perfect Dark was definitely the better game of the two, in my opinion. Importance-wise, 007 wins. Well, I can't tell if they were going for importance or whatever. Flow water has changed due to the machine stopping. Alright. Good, good, good. So now we can head back up and be able to get through that door. Whoa! Hi. Hi. I think GoldenEye still plays fine just because it has such an amazing campaign. Number 35. Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. This one is a very good Mario, not a Mario Party game, but a Mario game to play with a party. The new Super Mario Bros. Games kind of suck playing multiplayer, and they're much more doable single player. But this one in particular, it looked really polished. It was really fun to play, and playing with other people was a lot of fun too. I think that this game deserves to be on the list, but I don't think that it deserves to be 35. I don't. Just in general. I would put it closer towards the middle. Super Mario 3D World shouldn't be on this list. 34, this is correct. Maybe a little bit low. Star Fox 64. The original Star Fox is impossible to go back to. Like, it does not look good. Doesn't play well. But Star Fox 64 still plays like a dream. Feels good. This is a very good Star Fox game. Still holds up to today. Highly recommend playing it if you haven't before. And yeah, Dinner time. Alright, we'll see you later, Toko.
Come back.
Good to see you again, my dude. I was wondering where you were at. I assume you're busy being, you know, full-time dad and all that. Star Fox 64, much like GoldenEye 64, has to be on every top Nintendo's game list. Yeah, basically. I think it should be top 20. I could agree. Is there another way up? This goes back down. I couldn't... Oh, wait. One of those I have not explored yet. Okay, Star Fox 64 definitely deserves to be where it's at. Number 33. I still wouldn't put this above DKC 2, but I will say that it deserves to be on this list. Maybe not this high. Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. This is one of the best Donkey Kong games of all time. The fact that both this and DKC 2 are on this list is definitely correct. The positioning, though, I feel like they should be swapped. I really do. I think DKC 2 should be up here, and I think that Tropical Freeze should be lower to where Donkey Kong Country 2 is placed. It's really good. It's a really good game. Is this where the flow of water changed, or have I just not been here? Well, I guess I just haven't been here. You could argue DKC 2 in top 5. Oh, yeah. Especially when you consider just how important it was and how good the platformer was. Fuck yeah. 32, Earthbound. Okay, so I know... I respect its importance. Definitely. But me personally, I never got into Earthbound. I don't know. There's something about it. It was just very... I don't know. It didn't... It felt like it was trying too hard to be an RPG, but also didn't want to be like the other RPGs. It's like, it was like the video game equivalent of not like the other girls or not like the other boys. Like, I do this differently. So, it felt like it was trying super hard to be quirky and different, in my opinion. To where it's like, yeah, it's good. Oh boy. Shadow Link. It's good, but is it really top or higher than 30? Or not 30, higher than 50? Maybe. I don't know. I think that Mario RPG should be higher on this list. And then Mother 3. Did we already say Mother 3? I think we did. I think Mother 3 actually should be higher than this game. Earthbound feels like a good crack top 100, but honestly it should be swapped with GKC 2 on this list. 31. Mega Man 2. The one on the NES. Not Mega Man X2. Yeah. I hear people saying either this one or Mega Man 3. I was never super into the Mega Man games. I haven't beaten a single one. The most that I was able to do was Mega Man X, and that's only because my friend's Suitcase showed me the correct order to fight the bosses so that the boss fights were super trivial, and also how to get the game-breaking Hadouken. So these games I have zero opinion on. They're good. I understand their merit. They're not for me. And I always hear on the Super Nintendo the discussion being X or X2. and then on the NES, Mega Man 2 or 3. So yeah, I think Mega Man deserves to be on this list. I think it's in a good position. Mega Man 2 is a choice. Mega Man 3 is a definitive Mega Man game. Not counting Mega Man X, it's a whole different franchise. Oh, totally. I wouldn't even count them as the same game series. Okay, number 30, and then I gotta take a bathroom break. Oh. Okay, I like this game. I enjoyed this game a lot. I don't think it deserves to be 30th on top 100 Nintendo games of all time. Pikmin 4. Pikmin 4 was a very good evolution of the Pikmin games. If I were to choose the best Pikmin games, I would say Pikmin 1 or Pikmin 3. Pikmin 1 has my choice, but it's not my list. This feels very odd. This feels very odd. Pikmin 4 was the one that they released on the Switch. It's very good. I enjoyed it a lot. Where are we going? What are you? Oh, that couldn't be it. Is that seriously the puzzle in this area? Pikmin is a Nintendo franchise that only ever gets mentioned when it shows up in the top Nintendo game list. Well, at least I whipped the piss out of that door. Whew, made it. And we get the Blue Dragon Key! So that allows me to get into one of the... Wait, I don't think it even lets me get into the door up here. I think that was in a different dungeon. Boo. Okay, we're getting pretty close to end time, so... Oh boy, what the fuck is this? Oh no. Oh no, what fresh hell is this? Is this a Castlevania bonus level? This is nausea-inducing. Ow. Am I just like going through somebody's colon? What the fuck is this? Oh. Oh, I'm on the other side of it now. Cool. This is some F-Zero GX shit right here. Alright. So, I'm just gonna blast through these last 30 and then call it a stream. 29, Paper Mario Thousand Year Door definitely deserves to be in the north of 30. 28, Xenoblade Chronicles. The fact that that's higher than Paper Mario Thousand Year Door is criminal. I never liked the Xenoblade series, but Jesus Christ, how is it higher than one of the most regarded Nintendo RPGs of all time? Speaking of Nintendo RPGs, Pokemon Yellow, Red, and Blue at number 27. Should be higher, but whatever. Castlevania Aria of Sorrow is at 26. That's one of the ones on the GBA. In fact, I think we would get random people coming in saying, this is my favorite Castlevania of all time. It's pretty damn good. This is criminal. Super Mario 64 is at 25. This list sucks. Number 24 is Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Number 23 is Super Mario Galaxy. Recency bias bullshit. 22 is DK Bonanza. No. 21, Legend of Zelda A Link Between Worlds. Pokemon Yellow and Mario 64 should be top 10 regardless of your metrics, right? I enjoyed A Link Between Worlds a lot. That's my favorite handheld Zelda. It does not deserve to be above, like, Mario Galaxy and all that. That's... what? Why? Number 20, Resident Evil 4. Number 20? 19, Final Fantasy 3/6. That's one of the best SNES RPGs / PS1 RPGs of all time. Should be higher, but it's north of 20. I like it. Fire Emblem Awakening, number 18. This is the other Fire Emblem that people think of. Okay. I think this one is in a good spot, but I still think that Three Houses should be significantly higher. 17, Animal Crossing New Horizons, recency bias, and also pandemic bonus points. 16, Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. That's a good spot for it. I will say that it doesn't deserve to be top 10, but it certainly does deserve to be close. Number 15, Pokemon Heart Gold, Soul Silver above Red, Blue, Yellow. There's an argument to be made there. But Heart Gold, Soul Silver was a good remake of Gold and Silver, so I'm happy with it being high. I don't know that I would put it higher than Red and Blue. Super Mario Galaxy 2 at 14. I like having the story and whatnot in Mario Galaxy 1. Mario Galaxy 2 I'm currently playing through for the first time ever, and it's like, yep, it's all levels, and then you go back to your spaceship. And it doesn't feel like it has the same soul, but it does play a lot better. I really wish that they would have just, like, combined the two somehow. Number 13, Metroid Prime and Remastered. That's a really good spot for it. I don't think it needs to be top 10, but it certainly needs to be close to. Metroid Prime is one of the games that I think of when I think of GameCube. Number 12, Super Mario Bros. 3. The fact that this didn't crack top 10 is baffling. However, that probably means that Super Mario World is top 10. Metroid Prime is my top 10 all day. Oh, me too. But considering all the games that we haven't mentioned yet, it is definitely pushed out of the top 10 by some heavy hitters. Number 11, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. I think this one should be a top 10 purely because it improved on everything that its predecessors did. It included all the characters. It was a love letter to Nintendo fans. This is one of the most Nintendo-ass Nintendo games of all time. Number 10, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Probably one of the most influential and important Mario Kart games of all time. I agree with that. Number 9, Zelda A Link to the Past. Yeah, I think it deserves top 10. I have a feeling the top 10 is about to be very Zelda heavy, and I don't know that I feel good about that. Number 8, Super Metroid. Good spot for it. It's always on everybody's top 10 Nintendo games for good reason. Number 7, Chrono Trigger. This is a fantastic RPG if you haven't played it, and it's a very, it's probably one of Squaresoft at the time, best RPGs ever. Link to the Past is overrated, shouldn't be that much higher than classic Zelda. Number 6, Ocarina of Time. this used to be like number one on everybody's list, but now it's being ushered out by Breath of the Wild and probably Tears of the Kingdom. We haven't seen either of those yet, and I'm worried that they're going to be on this list too. Both of them definitely should be so much higher than DKC2. Shouldn't be so much higher than DKC2. Ocarina of Time aged like fine milk. Number 5, Tetris. That's a classic. Even classic, or even Game Boy original Tetris. Fucking amazing. Number 4, Mario Odyssey. Over 64? Yeah, probably. I don't know that it's number 4, but it should be top 10. Number 3, Super Mario World. This has probably caused a lot of upset. This in place of Super Mario Bros. 3. What the fuck is this list? Number 2, Breath of the Wild. Then what's number 1? Tears of the Kingdom. Two sides of the same fucking coin. Number 2 and 1 on their list. They are both very, very good games. They are both very good games. And Tears of the Kingdom plays entirely differently than Breath of the Wild as far as like the Zonai powers and all that. But the fact that your top 10 games include 1, 2, 3, 4 Zelda games. 4 fucking Zelda games in the top 10. No! It should have been Breath of the Wild in parentheses Tears of the Kingdom at number 1. There's so many other games that could have been in this top 10 that would have been such a better fit. Then why include the classic game at all? Just pick any of the games on the Switch and switch to... Hi. You can't mix contemporary games with historically significant games and call them the same thing. It's just... I don't like that. I don't like that. I like those games. I don't like that. That's... Seems like a cop-out. Seems very cheap. Whatever. Can I get an exclamation point quote, please, space? This has been our stream today. Thank you for joining me and going through the top 100 Nintendo games according to IGN. As we can see, this list is unbelievably flawed. Very upsetting at points. But yeah, leave your opinion on what should have made the list or what should be higher. Let us know. Join the Discord. Let us know, man. So, join us again next Wednesday. Ryder will be continuing Dark Souls, and I will be continuing more of Lament of Innocence on Thursday. So, like we always say, night, night, and you have to have a good taste in pizza, otherwise we will not have good taste in friends. Good night, y'all.